Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Dimir control deck for standard best of 3. So we're going to be playing best of 3 again in the spirit of what I did with my last video, and that is trying to stay more in touch with spikier, more competitive standard, as well as climbing to mythic in the last couple days because, again, I've been busy with school and kind of putting it off, also kind of had a bit of a bad couple magic days. So we're going to go back to the decks I actually do enjoy in Control, which is a lot of blue and a lot of black. And yesterday had Ultimatum, today has just raw blue black Control. So this list is inspired by the one CGB did a couple days back on Best of 1 regaining rank, and it's very similar to the Dimir Control style stuff I'm very much so infatuated with, which is a weird thing to say about a card game, but anyways, we're just going to move on from that comment. Basically, we're just a standard, pretty much Dimir draw go, with just a couple tap out spells like Maze Mind Tome, the Sweepers, Elspeth's Nightmare, but yeah, Ugin, basically Dimir draw go, and we splash, or we have a snow mana base for Graven Lore, which is a crazy card draw card. Basically, we scry X, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast the spell, then draw 3 cards. So really good in a draw-go style deck where you're trying to hold up mana. So, we'll get into the list a bit more in depth. Bloodchief's Thirst, because I've seen a resurgence in aggro in best of 3, surprisingly, and our sideboard is very much so teched out for control matchups, as well as having a couple more tools against aggro. But yeah, so we have the Bloodchief's Thirsts. It can also deal with a Planeswalker, which you see a lot less of nowadays, but it's still on the card. Cling, one main deck against rogues is really nice. You can always side it out against any slower matchups. Just really helps in trying to outgrind our opponents. Essence Scatter, I like the logic CGB presented in his video. Even the control decks are running one creature in Yorion, so it's always going to find at least one target. So I think that justifies at least one slot in pretty much every blue control counterspell deck. When Juaris, your opponent has to respect that they don't know how many you're playing. I've faced a lot of opponents who just constantly play around Juaris all game, so they like to play off curve, and I think either hitting one spell with it or playing it as a tap land makes them think about it at least. So it's one of our tap lands for the deck. We play 35 lands, one of them is Juaris. 2 negates, you can always side into the other 2. I think 2 is perfectly serviceable in the main deck. Omens, get through your deck, hit your lands, draw some cards, blink it with Yorion. Removal for smaller creatures with no counters, removal for creatures with counters. Big concern that we should have more eliminates, but this split has been working for me most of the time. But the other 2 eliminates are in the sideboard, so anything mono white, anything counters, or literally anything aggressive they're there for. Maze Mind Tome is a card I've been seeing less and less of. I've noticed that it is relatively slow, but I find it very hard to leave home without at least some Maze Mind Tomes. And I've gone in with the full package today, but I can see you cutting this down, which is one of the only times I've literally ever advocated for less tome. We're going to see how it goes. On the draw, it can be slow, and sometimes I feel like signing it out against aggro. But all things considered, I love the tome. Gaining life, drawing cards, scrying through your deck, very, very key. Saw it coming, pretty much the best counterspell we can play in standard right now. It gets around hand hate, and being able to foretell onto is something it's something to do with onto, and you might not always, even though, there's a fair amount of things to do. Nightmare, another blinkable with Yorion, takes out a thing, can be a hand hate spell, or like a pseudo hand hate spell in matchups where that's good. Very good against rogues, serviceable against Gruul. In control mirrors, I typically honestly keep these in, especially on the play, because Elspeth's Nightmare is just that powerful. Behold the Multiverse. Really, really good card, kind of like a discount Graven Lore. We draw a lot of cards, and it's really good to hold up mana. I like that you can pretty much invest 2 mana into this, and you end up paying 4 for it, regardless whether you foretell it or not. Just a versatile card draw spell to make sure we hit our lands and get through our deck. Sweep the board. The Sultai versions typically run a lot more verdicts and less events, but they can ramp to it with cards like Wolfwillow Haven. So they can, or Cultivate, they can typically hit like a turn 4 Shadows Verdict, whereas we do need a turn 4 Sweeper, and Extinction Event does that job very well. But there are times where you need to exile the yard, or you just want a more, let's say, reliable sweeper in the form of Shadow's Verdict. So we still run 2 copies. You can side it out if it's not good. The lores, which we talked about. We get into sweep the board. Very hesitant about tapping out. But one thing I've noticed is, let's say you give your opponent like a Kjorg Best the Sea Gods and a Tybalt. Let's say they draw 2 cards off the Tybalt, but that's it. And then you can go for the Ugin, sweep their board. It's one of the outs to that kind of very heavy board state of like just a lot of very problematic permanents. It can also exile a Shark Typhoon, which aside from that we can't really get rid of. And Shark Typhoon, cycle it, make a shark, slam it as a win con. Very good card. Mana base is a lot of snowlands, castle to draw cards, castle to scry, the pathways because it fixes our mana, temples and ice tunnel, 8 tap lands in the mana source with 9 being Juaris can be a bit tricky, but I hope it's going to be fine. I might honestly swap these out for the Sultai Triumph just because it has the land type for the castles. We'll see how the game's going. We'll see if that's necessary. Passage and Crawling Barrens as an alternate win con. Sideboard has pretty much standard Dimir stuff against any Control Mirror or Ultimatum. Control Mirror, Ultimatum, or a bit less against Control Mirrors because fighting Counterspell Wars doesn't go well with Stroke, but it deals with stuff like Dragons, Scalds, Ultimatum, Yorion, that type of thing. Negate, Control Mirror, aggro, and Control Mirror, or any blue matchup. Again, these are also good in like matchups like Rogues, and this is pretty good against Rogues as well. This isn't horrible against them. I've noticed it's a bit better than Event despite being more expensive because you can take out their entire yard, so Luris isn't as good. Anyways, just a bunch of stuff to keep in mind. We are a Yorion deck, being able to have the anti-rogues tech at the 20 extra cards, and it's pretty much free, and we have a bunch of okay blinkables, like Blinking Omen's good, Blinking Nightmares fairly good, and Resetting a Tome is fine, but we're really just in it for the extra cards and the ability to go longer. So that's it for the list, guys. If you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video, and if you like the style of content, more best of 3, be sure to let me know, and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Against Luris, so either cycling or rogues. And is good. Not much more we can ask for. So blue, so probably rogues, yeah. And it begins. Turn 1, do nothing. We have some decent answers against them. Like, all these cards are fine. Double blue, good. I'm worried about hitting land, but we have a bunch of card draw to do so. And opponent foretells. So we can go for this. And I think we're just happy to play Omen. We can almost play on curve and not have to worry too much about foretelling. Jesus, okay. Well, we are rewarded for the 80 cards. Pretty much immediately. Although all this removal gone, just to the crab. Feels bad. Okay. Wind Robber, that's fine. No attacks. You got a dispute. I mean, it doesn't, even if they do, Wind Robber holds priority. Event and Graven Lore. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I think this is too slow, and honestly, Event... I'd rather have cheap interaction, but Event can basically take out a counterspell, and then we can Verdict afterwards. So we play this and we pass. Hold Open saw it coming, although I doubt that's actually going to happen. We can force a trade on the Wind Robber with a Shark, which might be okay. And there's Tap Land again. I wonder if that came off the top. I think it did, based on how they played their turn. They can attack for 1, that's fine. Mill me a bit more. All these cheap removal spells. So sad. Alright, let's make a 1/1 Shark. Threaten to block this Wind Robber. Get deeper into our deck and use our mana. These are all things I'm very happy to do. Another black, because I want this to be blue, but I also want to hold open double black. So, do we go for the event? Opponent would have to main phase resolve into the story. I think we go for it. They only have 3 cards, and if they start countering this, this is okay. I hate tapping out with 2 counterspells in hand, but I think this is worth it. Okay, they sack the Wind Robber. We go for Odd. And now what? No attacks. Not trying to attack into a Thought Thief. Behold. Okay. I was thinking they had a saw it coming. What do I know? At least we have this. This hits literally all their cards. And me and opponent are pretty much at card parity. And there's a Thieves Guild Enforcer. Very good. Let's go. Get right stuck in for a long one, guys. And Foretell. You'll have to see it. We take the Foretells on two. No blocks. Negate. Let's crack for a blue. And then we have 5 mana, so what are we doing? We already have 18 cards in the yard. It's not a huge deal how I do this. Is it worth holding open 5 mana for Saw It Coming plus Negate? Next turn, if we Verdict, we still only have 1 open mana. And worst case, we just play Behold. Is it worth just foretelling Behold? I don't think so. I think we just pass like this. I think that's completely acceptable. We can fight a fairly solid counterspell war. And they do nothing with their mana, but had the option to do something. Okay. I'm gonna go for no blocks. I can trade this in for pretty much 3 life whenever, but it blocks a Windrobber in the future, and we're not in a crazy rush. This Thieves Guild Enforcer, while it is beating us down, isn't killing us. I think we negate that. Only have 2 mana left over. If they drown it, that's fine. We'd actually probably fight that counterspell war. Negate their card draw spell. Let's not scry with Omen, so a bit punished for not foretelling anything. Let's foretell now. So we foretell here. And what can we do with 4 mana? Not much. So we can foretell like this. Just double foretell Sego. You know what I should have done? Should have technically waited for end phase. Because you can foretell during your entire turn. Behold. Do we counter Behold the Multiverse? It gets them even deeper into their deck. I think we... They still have Into the Stories, though, which are going to start becoming a problem. But I have all this card draw. I think that's fine. I think we hold up Saw It Coming throughout their turn, and then Behold on end step if they don't do anything, and if they counter my Behold, it's fine. We have another one. I really just want them to play out more creatures to this board, so we can Shadows Verdict it. Cracking Passage with no crab, you love to see it. Also, maybe double foretelling there is just greedy. But it's also playing mana efficiently. I felt kind of like shit for leaving 3 mana there. I'm going to take this block now. I want them to commit more to the board, and I want the Shadows Verdict to actually end up mattering. They do nothing, so slightly rewarded. Let's Behold. Do you counter this? I'm not sure that you do. And they do. Okay. That's 1 drown out of the way. Omen. Omen, Omen, Omen. I have 6 mana, so I want 1, 2. So if I foretell here, or if I just foretell Behold the Multiverse, then what? Then I have 4 mana available, and I can... Yeah, I think I just foretell here. Alright, I need a spot removal spell for this thing. This is kind of getting ridiculous. Opponent has milled 1 Eliminate, a Heartless Act, 2 Heartless Acts. Okay, double Enforcer. Oh, That's the committing to the board I wanted. Or taking a fair hit to do it. So we're gonna fight a counterspell war over this Shadow's Verdict, I think. It also makes their Lurrus really bad. Thought Thief. So, okay. I don't think I can take 8 here, and I think if I try to counter it, they might fight me. Which could end up being worth it if they decide to go for a counter war here. So do I go for the... Oh, jeez, it's actually hard. This can deal with this whole thing, and I would need to take, what? 8 damage? Okay, we're gonna let this resolve. Then I'm gonna draw a million cards. So this mills me a lot. Like a lot. We take 2 mills from each, and we take a huge bump. But hopefully we can recover with the Shadow's Verdict. There's a Cling. That's good. Or if ever we can stabilize. Yep, that's a problem. Not drawing our spot removal has been pretty brutal. Buys Lurrus, that's fine. Only leaving open 2 mana, we take these. Let's start with Omen. There's a pause, alright. Event. And land. So if I event plus land, I'll have 7 mana. I think I take the event, but I don't take the land. I think I'll take one off of the Behold, though. I want to see if I can just find spot removal along with a land. Just for, like, worst case scenario. And if the opponent counters this Behold, I'm absolutely laughing. Alright, we'll take... We actually will take a land. Negate, that's good. And another Verdict, okay. So, 5. Let it rip. Lots of sweepers, not a lot of Doomblade-esque effects. Plus, this makes Lurrus bad. So, opponent might be tempted to fight the good fight, and they do. So, negate. Yeah, let's negate. Saw it coming can take care of anything else. Alright. So, we deal with that. So, we're not dead now. We exile their yard. Lurrus is now bad. And we have another Verdict plus Saw It Coming combo. And there's a Lurrus. And they do nothing. Ooh, Graven Lore. Hello. So do I just exile this Lurrus? Or do I go for a Graven Lore? How greedy are we? I can gain some life for a while off this Cling. If I had 8 lands, we'd be in a much better spot. Am I just supposed to buy Yorion and pass? Every threat's very scary, so I think I'm gonna pass phase, see if they do anything. There's definitely a pause there. Let's go for Odd. See if they want to fight me on this. Lurrus gone. Opponent has 3 more cards. No creature. Nice. Maybe I should scry for untap land. I'm greedy. Greed pays off. Okay. So, 5 mana for this, and then we have 3 mana left over. Or we can double Cling and then start gaining some life back. Half our deck is gone. We have to win at some point. I just think I'd rather be in a bit more of a stable position. Being at 5 life against rogues is sketchy. Let's say no to that. With this counterspell. I don't exactly want Thought Thieves and stuff. And they scry, okay. Ooh, so I think I messed up. We don't have double blue here, which might be okay. Because we can start pumping our Barons or using Cling, but having the option to Graven Lore would be really nice. And we still have 32 cards to go through. Yeah, no. Opponent doesn't have a counterspell. Good to know. So we main phase a Graven Lore. Or we buy and play Yorion. Opponent might be holding removal. That would make a lot of sense, actually. Let's main phase a Gravenlore. So I want... Okay. Not that. Not this. I want untapped blue. Counterspells aren't bad. Jeez, how greedy am I supposed to be? I guess tapped blue is like okay. Oh man, plus double barons could be useful. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I think I found my line. We're gonna go like this. Yeah, we're gonna go like this. We're gonna play out second barons. We're gonna tap them, and we're gonna foretell. All right, and now we don't need double blue anymore, or the counterspell. What's my clock looking like? 21 minutes. They have 24. All right. So we definitely are the ones that have to win. Even though they're rogues. Nice. Nice Agadeem's Awakening, mate. So do we just start pumping our mana into Crawling Barons? I think we wait just a little bit longer. Or tell another counterspell. And pass once more. I don't think we have time to cling here. If this was best of one, and I had like literally infinite time, then we're pure chillin'. We can take our time, set up as long of a game as we want, bar the 27 cards left in our deck. But it's not. And if the opponent has eliminates, then we're in trouble. So let's Gravenlore one last time. Yeah, we'll pay with all snow. Trying to counter it. Maybe I should have waited on that or not used one snow mana and held up saw it coming. They drowned. That's actually okay. Probably should have scryed a bit less. Nightmare. Game is tempting me. Game is tempting me. All right, let's buy Yorion. We have how much mana left? I want to hold open both these saw it comings. We can play Nightmare. Get into their hand twice because of Yorion Blink. We missed a land at some point, and here again too, so we don't get to play out double Sot coming, but I think this is okay. Opponent's gone through 1 into the story, 2 beholds, 3 drowns. Okay. So they should be pretty much out of counterspells. I think their best bet is killing me with creatures, and we can gain a crap ton of life off Cling. Windrobber, that's fine. It cycles, which is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. We blink it with the Nightmare, and we pass. No point in scrying just yet. Show me what you got. Heartless Acts, yep. Makes sense. So we do this again. Which is annoying. Alright. This is gonna get freaking Heartless acted, but that's okay. Maybe we counter it. Nah, I don't think so. Actually, you know what? No, but if we had double blue, I'd say we counter it. But we don't, so we wait. Taking it real slow. We're gonna pick them apart piece by piece by piece by piece. Take that scry. Tome, honestly, it gains life, but we have life in here. Let's pass. This blinks everything back. Opponent draws off their Windrobber. Their Yard's gonna get exiled too at some point, which is really nice. We have 25 cards left, and I'm gonna start pumping mana into these Crawling Barons so we can actually win the game. And then back them up with counterspells, I guess. 1 to the top. We need more blue, honestly, as good as Castle is. I keep finding myself at a loss for blue mana. That's a lot of blue, but it's fine. And there's more blue. Alright. We found out where all our blue mana went. Foretell. We take those, that's fine. Windrobber. Do I care? Honestly, I kind of do. It gives them another card and it blocks for a turn. Plus, they can't use anything here. This might be stupid. It could just be really greedy, but I want to start killing them. Show me your hand. Give me that one card. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Give me all the blue. Take action. Hit you for 2. We know they don't... Well, they probably don't have Heartless Act, and well, we know they don't, because this is a Foretold card. Okay. End turn. How much mana do we have? 5. And they scry. Alright, very good. 22 cards left, and we're gonna get this going to kill them as soon as possible. So now it's literally just about closing. We've definitely stabilized, and I think I played this a little greedier than I had to. Aghadeem's Awakening. Do I care? Like, do I really care? Not really, we just Shadow's Verdict it all back. It doesn't mill me either. Draw 5? No, let's put more mana into these. No. And we're gonna Omen. Counterspell. Could be a Behold. Nightmare and Typhoon. I don't think Nightmare is necessary. But I will keep a Typhoon as another sort of alternate win con. Mm-hmm. Give me that yard. Completely gone. Why does it want to tap my Barons with my mana? With my counters. Let's go here. Saw it coming. Again, why does it keep trying to do this? It's kind of annoying, but okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about what I'm gonna do. There's a bunch of stuff to think about. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything gets exiled. Play land for turn. If they have a Thieves Guild in Force, I'm gonna be annoyed. Alright, I don't even know how many Thieves Guild Enforcers they have left. But I think that's worth calling out. And are officially tapped low. They definitely can't kill me, but they can, you know, resolve 2 cards. Or tap low or tapped out. And I wonder if they have Eliminates for this Crawling Barons. They're touching it. We've seen a lot of their deck. Let's look in Exile because that's where the whole thing is. Rune Crab, okay, annoying. Double Rune Crab, that's actually pretty funny. Abled Passage, nice. So are they just going to try to... How big's my Shark? My Shark is an 11/11. Dang, not lethal yet. So we pump this. Oh, I used one too much mana. One too many mana. Crap. You know what? It's okay. It's not a huge deal. Can main face a Gravenlore? Was that worth it? Do I just pump this again? I'll just main phase a Gravenlore. Make sure it resolves. Kind of fat-fingered those taps. Sorry about this, guys. I'm sorry that I'm not commentating as much, but I'm just trying to find the line and close this game so we can get to game 2 before I literally time out. And we just find and eliminate. Very good. Let's force a chump block. Or not force a chump block, but pretty much force a chump block. And they're scrying. That's the right play. Lots of land at the bottom of my deck. Wonder if they keep here. One to the top, one to the bottom. This is the problem with rogues. Regardless of what happens, it's a freaking slog. Yep. Hear that, bus of a Barons. Opponent's just passing. Let's try to take it out. They need a creature. Or they need a removal spell Essence Scatter that handles a creature. Let's animate and see if we can actually get in lethal. Blockers. GG. Okay, so we pump the Barons one more time and we kill them. Alright, game 2. Jesus. That was a tough one. I think I played that very greedy. I tried to get max value out of pretty much all my cards. And maybe that wasn't the call. Also, Fat Finger tapped 1 extra mana there. And we kill them. Okay. Okay, yep. And they're dead. Game 2. Jeez. What a slog. Alright, let me, sideboard, thank you. So, more of these. More of these. I think more of those is fine. We might actually drop that lower. Don't want this. They literally don't have many spells over 4 CMC. Dress isn't that great either. So what do we want to cut? Ugin. Can probably shave a tome. It's going to be very difficult to tap out. Can shave some of these events. Although they are good, Verdict is much better. Can shave a Gravenlord. It's going to be difficult to resolve that. Can I... what else? What else? Probably another tome, honestly. As good as they are, they can also mess up all the scries. Maybe negate times 4 is greedy, as we just get beaten down. We're holding open negates. I think we actually drop off another event and switch it for a Verdict. I think that's good, although Verdicts really did keep us in this game. Shark Typhoon isn't horrible against them. It's not exactly the best card either. Like, it is pretty good, but it's not like A+ card. Maybe 4 Beholds is a lot, but it's also something to do with our mana. While they're not interacting with us. I'm kind of sussed out about 4 Negates, kind of sussed out about 4 Beholds, and kind of sussed out about 4 of these. Also, I kind of want more sweepers. I just don't see many situations where they all resolve. Let's say I drop off a Shark Typhoon, then what do we add? Probably one of the cards I had previously cut. If I drop off Negate, we get like another sweeper, I guess. Unless I'm just supposed to go all empty on the Extinction event and just go full on Verdict, but I think that's too greedy. Especially on the draw. But I do think Verdict is way better. I'm going to hope that siding into all this removal helped my case. Alright, let's go. Negates aren't going to save me. They're just going to keep them off their plan, fight counterspell wars, and stop them from drawing as many cards as they do. They seem to be a different Rogues build. It's less standard and more or greedier, and is good. All right, let's go. That's a good draw. And game has begun. I think the game also smoothed itself out a little bit. Windrobber into what, like Tapland? Okay. So do we Bloodchief's Thirst this? I don't think so. Ooh, the game is also going a lot less laggy. Maybe the game's just happy that we reset it to 2-3 lands on each side. We'll take a bump. Not too fussed about this. I want to kill it before it can cycle for a card. But until then, we can just play out Omen of the Sea, Nightmare, and Cling to Dust. Both cards I'm very interested in seeing. I'd rather have Cling in my yard, but there's no way I'm bottoming it in this situation. So, do we play out the Nightmare? They can't counter it unless they are playing Negates. And then next turn we can kill something and hold open a counterspell if they counter it. So that's fine. Resolves, very good. Alright, now we get a peek at their hand. This is like my favorite card against Rogues. Once it hits the board, we're just absolutely laughing. Yeah, alright. Nightmare. Show me what you got. Those are some nice cards. Those are some nice cards. So, let's fight them on this front. they can't Into the Story for a while. Like, a while. So, do I foretell a slot coming in kind of like preparation? Or do I just want to hold open 4 mana and then behold the multiverse? Would I counter this? I don't think so. Although countering this leaves them so far behind, I honestly think I might if they go for it. Yeah, they crack passage, thin their deck. I think we just pass. Because if I counter the of one mind, then we can draw again off the Cling. We draw a million cards off the Behold, and we're pretty likely to find another counter. They don't go for anything, so we can pretty safely resolve Behold. Unless they just drew a counter. Do I keep the land coming? I think we do. No reason not to draw some land. Maybe I should have kept 1 to the bottom there, but I think all in all it's okay. And I'm pretty close to resolving a Shark Typhoon. Which might be where we want to be, might not be. Let's foretell this, just get it set up for the future. I could buy Yorion. I think I'd rather just hold open, Cling to Dust, and counter magic. Opponent has gone off to a really slow start. I'm feeling really confident with all my tools. As soon as they find creatures, we can kill them. They can scry with this bad boy. Thought Thief as an ETB. That's fine. That is fine. Actually, sorry, it doesn't have an ETB as an attack trigger. 3 cards in grave. Let's go for it. Let's eliminate this thing. If they want to fight a counterspell war over their Thought Thief, we're happy. And they still can't resolve Into the Story. They go for a full price of one mind, which we're absolutely okay with. 3 mana. Probably buys Luris. Goes for a Wind Robber. Passes turn. Holding open 2 mana. I really want to try to resolve this Shark Typhoon. I just don't think it's going to work. At least not yet. Not yet. Let's Bloodchief's Thirst this away. Yeah, see, there's that pause. Could be another rogue. Honestly, it probably is. I wonder if the opponent's going to fight me over this Bloodchief's Thirst. Oh my god, they do. Alright. That's completely fine. So do I buy this? The alternative is holding open everything. I think we just hold open everything. I can make a 2/2 shark and block. I can Heartless Act this Wind Robber. Or just make a 1/1 and block. Or I can take the bump, go down to 6 cards. Let's just take the bump. I can Cling and then Cling my own yard. I have to win. Jesus, 12 minutes left. Okay, let's not lose this game, or I'm gonna die to clock. Yeah, I know, man. It's been taking a minute. Okay. So let's Cling my Behold. Will I even be able to Cling my own yard? Exile 5 other cards? I don't think so. Jeez. Counter my Cling. Do it. Do it. So I think we have to play a bit faster here. You know, actually close the game out. Not play stupid, but just play a bit quicker. Opponent goes for a Thieves Guild Enforcer. Yeah. He's trying to mill me some more to resolve Into the Story. They're going to go for it. We're going to counter it. They're going to be sad. They cycle Wind Robber. Okay. And now we have to be careful. Okay, that actually happens. That's pretty funny. We draw a Dispute. I can wipe my yard right now, and they can't cast Into the Story. Okay. So we target Snow-Covered Island, and we exile all this. And now they can't resolve Into the Story. because it costs 7 mana. Well done. Crawling Barrens, win Confound. Still not gonna slam this Shark Typhoon. Still not gonna do it. I outright refuse. Wind Robber, eh? Let's kill the Thieves Guild Enforcer. I don't want them to mill me on ETB. That's fine. It still can't cycle for a card. Let's go. Not feeling too shabby. The crab opener didn't happen, which we're feeling right good about. They still can't resolve into the story. Do I just try to slam a shark? They would need double counterspell to get through it. Or do I wait one more turn? They buy Luris? Yeah, we're slamming a Shark Typhoon. It's gonna resolve. There's just no questions about it. So, Omen or just pump Barons? Let's just pump Barons. I want all these spells to pair well with Shark Typhoon. Mm-hmm. 7, and we go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Resolves. Even if they have a counter, they would actually need double dispute, which they don't have, clearly. Resolves. And they, like, probably can't remove it unless they've sided in Feed the Swarm. So we just kind of try to take over from here. We can let them mill me for another card, that's fine. Have to remember we still have Saw It coming online. They go for the Luris. Do we fight? I think we fight. They're still so far from resolving this and we have a dispute. Shark makes a 3-3. Or Shark Typhoon makes a 3-3, sorry. Whenever we flashback Cling, as unfortunate as it is, they drown. Okay. So Luris can, I guess, resolve. Get another Rogue. We can just eliminate it, though. It's not the end of the world. And then we need better counters for this card draw. So how many counters have you seen? 1, 2... Okay. Anything else here? 3? 3 drowns in the top 40. I'm pretty sure they found 3 drowns in their top 34 last time as well. Oh, it's disgusting. It's so gross. Okay. Let's go here. Can tap this. And the armada of sharks begins. Start the beat down. Here we go. If they can't resolve this into the story now, they duress me. Guys, they duressed me. That means they put something in my yard. Huh. And they can resolve this into the story. Fair enough. They have to take the dispute, which we actually might be able to find another one. If we omen. So we're going to go for it. Yeah. Let's try to find that dispute, unless this is another counterspell. Also, Brigade of Sharks. Oh god. Can I say... yeah, we're gonna say no. We're gonna say no. Land curses. Oh, they draw so many cards. Okay. But we're still in a good spot. I can buy and replay Yorion, blinking everything. And the Shark attack has begun. They go for a Heartless Act, meaning Yorion will resolve, and we get 2 looks at this hand. So what? We take Agadeems. Blue. We attack first, see what happens. I can stop them from cycling this for a card. Actually, they can't cycle it for a card. They don't have 8 or more. They just have 7. We buy and... I wanted to hold up Dispute. Oh well. Now we're just holding up Castle. We buy and replay Yorion, and we blink all these cards, and that's just game. Oh, long one, guys. Long one against Rogues, but we just pick them piece by piece by piece apart. Alright guys, and we are back. So even though this deck wasn't designed to take out Rogues, it had a pretty solid matchup against them. Like, we kind of decimated them in that game. Sorry about the kind of, not lack of commentary, but slightly less vocal me. I was thinking quite a bit about my decisions, and it is 1 a.m. my time, so I'm a little bit tired, but hopefully you enjoyed the deck. I do think it is very powerful, and it is a lot of fun, especially if it is your type of Magic. Right now we're sitting at Diamond 2 with like 3-4 days left in the season, and I do have to make my push to Mythic, which I'm not too stressed about, touch wood. But yeah, I'm either going to be doing it with this deck or the Ultimatum deck. The one thing that makes me lean slightly towards the Ultimatum deck is the fact that the games go a lot quicker. Like, as you saw, that one Rogues game didn't even take 3, or the one Rogues match didn't even take 3 games to finish. It took like 40 minutes, which, trying to grind to Mythic, even if you're taking losses that take 40 minutes, like that's just not very convenient. So, again, if you like this type of Magic, deck list will be in the description down below as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.